All right, tonight, topic I've wanted to touch on for a while because it brings together um, earlier topics and something that's been a passion of mine since I was a kid, since grade school, and well before social media. Because I mean, you read here, um, most of your Facebook friends uh, don't actually care about you. So, are they still friends? What makes a friend a friend? Um, or what makes a real friend versus a social media friend? Or... Anyway, so back in grade school, I was racking my brain. Okay, so how do, especially my friend Ian in grade five, um, I was pretty much a loner up until grade five. I'd normally stay inside during recess and um, study or practice, or I wasn't interested in interacting with the other kids. And so I remember in grade five, my um, the teacher said, "Ian, why don't you go play with Nathan?" And so we had we went out to the playground. We had fun together, and it was kind of just a um, an eye opening moment for me. Is that was my first actual friend that wasn't just, even though the teacher kind of still put it on me, it wasn't a, hey, these are the neighbors, be friends. This was something that happened organically. And so since grade five until it was about grade nine, there was a classmate. Of course, we meet in grade eight. And then within a few months into grade nine, we're now friends. And I like, so what happened? What was the determining from grade eight to grade nine? And um, I was quite the class clown. I love to make people laugh. So I realized one of the most common thing, because I've made more friends between five and nine, is the commonality was one of the loves I brought up in the four loves. So um, core love behind friendship, and we'll say Philios. I realize I spent it. It's not Philos, Philios. And so, just a recap of what that was. That's the love of like or preference. And preference is a I don't I don't think I went much into that on the For Love stream, but it's this idea of scale is important to keep in mind because it's not just on off love or Philios love or hate. Uh, for example, I like both uh, vanilla and chocolate, but I like chocolate more. I love chocolate more. So if we want to talk about scale, I like vanilla, but I love chocolate. Uh, so with the various friends, we always, there's something common. So usually it was something I did to make them laugh. That was kind of the foot in the door. And especially as the years passed and decades passed, and you see social media um, coming out and creating this concept of just online friends that you can just quickly meet up and then you start liking each other's posts. But I noticed that there was something missing in those relationships. And so what was it? And like we mentioned in the Four Loves stream, agape. So that's the wanting good for blank. So you can want good for yourself. So that would be loving yourself, agape, loving yourself. Or you can want good for whatever target of your love is. You want good for that person. So that's the agape love. That's the true love. And so that's the what makes any of the it's the gas, I guess, behind the other three loves. The love of like or preference. There's the eros, the love of attraction, and then there's storge. Now, with this, or rather without this, just allies, not friends. So, and it's especially clear on kind of a national level, is it's easy to visualize, is if you have aligned interests. So you both have the same like, or in this case, both have the same hate. You both do not approve. You do not prefer what a certain nation is doing. You have aligning interests, and so now you're allies. But unless you actually want good for your ally, that's all they are. Because as soon as they your interests no longer align, or even if whatever that original interest aligns, but something else comes up and you go, well, I hate that. If you don't have agape backing it up, and this is why I keep hammering the point of forgiveness. If you don't have agape to back up that philios, you're going to flip, and now your ally becomes your enemy. And malice, if you don't have agape, malice will just is very quickly to jump in there. So I noticed when we're talking about being an ally, we hear that language used a lot these days. Being an ally of a community. And so whenever we're talking about, so that's the black community, the LGBT community, whatever community, Asian community. And so whenever we're talking about community, we're really talking about, you might remember this from the other one, the Four Love stream again. We're talking about storge, or the love of belonging. Now, if you remember back to the Four Loves stream, I had a bit of a tough time. I said I might eventually cover it, so I'm going to cover it in this stream here. Why I had a hard time with storge, and or finding the opposite of it, so I could find what storge actually is, because that was the whole gist of the streams. It's easy to identify the opposites, and then therefore you can get what the actual love is. The reason I had a hard time with this is because since I was born, I do not feel the emotion of storge. So this isn't oh, poor me. This is just more of an explanation of if I ever seem awkward or cringy in especially in group setting, this is why. And I tried to think, it was there and it may sound impossible that you can't feel a certain kind of love. And I was trying to think, is there uh, a, mo- a moment that scarred me in the past? And I it I can't think of one. It's always been this way. It's not like part of me is scarred. It's as if um, like there's circuitry, and I can, it's almost like I can feel arcing when when I should feel like I belong. There's like an arcing on an open circuit that I feel like I'm supposed to feel something, but I don't. And so instead, whenever I feel that arcing, I have to kind of reinterpret it as uh, feeling honored. Like I know someone is trying to include me and make me feel like I belong. And so anytime someone has, you know, called me, you're my brother, or um, um, trying to make me feel like I'm part of the group, I'd have people like, come on, Nathan, join us. And so I wasn't feeling um, like I really belonged to that group, but the mere act of that individual person, I felt very honored from that person. So I mean, this still carries on till today. So if I'm um, in a Discord group, if when I think in terms of teams and groups, I'm thinking in the form of accomplishing something, accomplishing a mission. And then once that mission accomplished, then I don't see, I don't feel like I belong to the group. So I feel out of place and awkward. So, for example, just wait a minute, it's Monday night. Yeah, so last night, um, when we had the kind of, it was anime night in the Arnie Discord server. And so once we're done, now if it was just me and one other person having a conversation, that's another thing. But because there were multiple people there, I was happy just as long as other people are relating with each other. I'm like, okay, I'm glad they've got their own thing, and then I can skedaddle. And so if you ever have seen me just yeet out of a group setting, um, meme aside, it's not you, it's me. Like I honestly don't feel like I belong in the group, and and like I said, like I don't really know what the opposite is, if it's just not belonging or isolation, because I don't feel the opposite. Um, I mean, even as a kid, um, like there was this one time I got forgotten behind at home, and and even as a young little lad, it didn't affect me at all. I didn't notice, and I just continued playing in the backyard, uh, just happy as a clown with just with whatever was in the backyard. Uh, I'm not sure how long I was back there, but I didn't even notice that my family was gone. Um, so I want to share that is, well, I think Philios, because I've had deep, meaningful friendships in my life. I think part of French, especially friendship, as you try to increase. This will be another video. I did a whole nother channel, in fact, on this, like the concentric circles of friendship. So for me, it's been easy to have the core relationships, just of a handful of people, and then we can interact one on one or in a tight setting. But as the groups get bigger, like I don't know how to relate in those larger groups. Uh, it just feels awkward. Like I can't whatever they want. Like I can't give what they that sense of belonging, and I can't receive it either. Uh, so well, it's a kind of a weakness in one aspect. I do feel I was born for today. I was born for now. It is of all the different loves that are being abused. I see Storge. I'm able to take a step back and and detach myself and see Storge from a very analytical sense. So I understand it even if I don't feel it, and I can see how it's being used to manipulate. So this is why I structured these little talks like this. Like things are coming together. Uh, so I want to have these deep talks, and I also want to give these announcements on Thursday. And so you're going to see how these these deep dives, these deep talks, um, will give you something to stand on and some hope when you're seeing all the craziness that's going on. As I mentioned them in the updates, because yeah, Storge is being used to manipulate big time, and so what are you seeing with these BLM protests, BLM riots? It's these appeals to a black community. But what it's sickening to see BLM. If you don't agree with their Marxist agenda, it doesn't matter if you're black or not. If you're black, then, well, to quote Joe Biden, you're not black if you're not voting for him. Uh, so I'm not sure if it suffice to say, beware of being manipulated. I mean, it's easy for me to say, since I don't feel Storge, but just be, if anyone ever appeals to merely community, um, press X to doubt, I guess, is what I can say. Because with the blatant use of manipulation in that area, anytime you see that being used as a reason for whatever, I would be critical. And so yeah, um, just a quick summary. So what is the core uh, basis of friendship? It's philios, and then what gives that, which is um, finding something in common. But you want to make sure, if you want to turn that oh, that person's cool, or let's be friends and let's add them. If you want to develop that into something more, you need to have the agape in your life. That is the wanting good for the others. And so I've already uh, beaten it over your head. Where's the source of agape? I see no other better source than God. But yeah, let's. I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to discuss in friendship for today. Now, I do eventually want to maybe make a short-form version of the circles of friendship, and do it on this channel, kind of in a quicker one video, one shot, one stream, go, um, to give an overview. But that'll be for another stream, another day. That's it for this stream. Probably still on for Twitch Sings on Wednesday, and then, whew, I'm still debating what to tackle on Update Thursday, but we'll cross that bridge when I come to it. All right, good night. Thanks for tuning in.